Hello, everybody. Captain Marty here. Wednesday, the 20th of November. Gosh, next week is Thanksgiving. But I'll tell you something interesting about fish prices and Thanksgiving. And I'll be back to do that and tell you more about what's happening on the fishing front in just a moment.
Ahoy there, folks. Captain Edward Lee here, and I want to invite you aboard the Miss Oregon Inlet 2. She's a modern 60-foot head boat outfitted with the latest top-quality safety and fishing equipment. We make 3 trips per day out of the world-famous Oregon Inlet Fishing Center. Visit MissOregonInlet.com or call us today at 252-251-4314. So ditch the beach for a bit and set sail with the Miss Oregon Inlet 2.
At Fishing Unlimited on the Nags Head Manio Causeway, not only can you get stocked up with all the bait, tackle, and amenities necessary to fish, but you can also be your own captain. That's right. At Fishing Unlimited, you can rent one of their spacious pontoon boats to go fishing, crabbing, dolphin watching, or just to cruise the Roanoke Sound. It's family fun at its finest. Half-day and full-day rentals are available. Be your own captain at Fishing Unlimited on the Nags Head Manio Causeway.
So the wind laid down quite a bit yesterday. I went out hunting, and it was as calm as I've seen it deer hunting this year. Really just no wind moving at all. And because of that, we did get a fleet offshore, and we had another fleet back in the Sound doing a little bit of fishing. The offshore fleets down to Hatteras, they had both blackfin tuna if you went that direction. And if you're a little closer to shore, a little bit different direction, you had king mackerel on live bait. It's a lot of fun. It's a bigger class of king mackerel. But while that is going on, that king mackerel bite on live bait, which is pretty sporting and fun, really fun on light tackle, there's a commercial fleet that's out there king mackerel fishing, dragging planers and spoons and deep diving rigs and supplying a commercial market for folks that can't get out there and catch them on their own. That's a great thing. A king mackerel caught fresh, kept properly iced and cleaned is really, really good. There's a lot of different ways you can do it, and it makes really good on the grill. I like to do the butterfly steaks I was telling our listeners about last week. They make great fish salad, especially after you've done them on the grill. So there's just a lot of things you can fry them, broil them, bake them, do whatever you want. But the interesting point I was going to make as we approach Thanksgiving week, these guys are making a living going out commercially and catching king mackerel. I used to love to do that. And what they make depends on what they get paid, what the price is. And do you know that as you go into the weekend coming up, fish prices drop drastically. In fact, there are sometimes when the fish houses will say don't even go because we can't get anything for them. And you know why that is, because everybody's buying turkeys and hams. So every commercial fisherman knows that that's a tough week to sell fish. Now, if you're one of our oyster aquaculturists, and there are many on the Outer Banks now that farm salty, good oysters, Thanksgiving is your busiest week. Everybody wants some oysters for Thanksgiving. Everybody but Cap Marty. I don't eat them, and I'll say the first Native American that ever ate one, I'd like to know why, or what medicine pipe he'd been smoking. But anyway, I'm not a fan, but I've caught a bunch of them and cooked them for other people that seem to really enjoy them. So enough about that. The Oregon Inlet offshore fleet has been just primarily blackfin tuna with a very scattered yellowfin tuna. I was talking to Captain Dickie Harris on the Fantastic yesterday, and it seems like the dolphin or mahi-mahi bite is pretty much over with. And it was good. It ran right up into the late fall, so that's good. Surf fishing and pier fishing. There is a decent drum bite. I'm talking about both red drum and black drum. Still a few big ones being caught in the surf, really from the Virginia line down to Ocracoke, including Cape Point. Not a lot. It's not a great big bite, but there's still a couple to be caught here and there of the big ones. And quite a few of the puppy drum that are in the slot size where you can keep one per person. Water temperature is about averaging around 62 degrees. So that's going on. And by the way, at 62 degrees, that's a little bit cool for swimming, but the bait of choice is these cob mullet. And you really want to shop around and make sure your fish house, your tackle shop, or wherever you get them, make sure they're as fresh as possible. It makes all the difference in the world. And one other piece of breaking news in that report is that there have been some rockfish, ocean rock or striped bass in the surf. They're not the great big ones, but some of them are pretty good size, 30 to 40 inches. And, you know, that's a real treat. a lot of people will say that's the best eating fish in the ocean, and everybody has their favorite. So you got that going on. Then there a little bit of other stuff, especially on the piers. Some small trout. A lot of the piers on the north of Oregon Inlet had good sea mullet fishing yesterday. There's a little bit of a variety, still some bluefish around. Some of the stuff is gone now, the Spanish mackerel in particular. But there's still a few croakers, and I mentioned the sea mullet, some small trout. You know, you can get a bite, you got to put in your time. The winds laid down yesterday, but I think we got more wind coming, so you better get out and fish while you can. That's what's happening in the ocean. Just stay right here, and I'll be right back to tell you about what's going on in the Sound.
At the south end of Roanoke Island, a quiet little village, lies a marina known for having one of the finest fishing fleets on the Outer Banks. Whether it be an offshore excursion, a nearshore charter, or headboat fishing, Wanchese Marina is where to go. Wanchese Marina is a full-service marina, complete with a fueling dock, bait, tackle, ice, and the landing grill restaurant. All of this is just a few minutes from some of the finest fishing spots around. Book online at wanchesemarina.com. Wanchese Marina, 4457 Mill Landing Road, Wanchese.
All right, our fishing in the backcountry is primarily in the Pamlico Sound, but not exclusively. And there's a good bite on speckled trout, whether you're fishing from a bridge, an estuary, off the Sound shore somewhere. There is somewhere to go fishing. And all summer long, you guys over back at Hatteras Island and all around Roanoke Island had a really good bite on the speckled trout and the puppy drum. Okay, so your time is winding down, and these fish seem to be moving west, and they're getting all the way over on the western Sound. The trout are running a little bit on the small side, but they are plentiful, and mostly speckled, well, almost entirely speckled trout. Still a bluefish to be caught in the middle of them. Everybody is real pleased with the improvement in that. I'm not hearing much, we talked all fall about the sheephead fishing, but I haven't heard of a sheephead in a few days. Could be wrong. I don't hear everything. And when I give you my fishing report, it's a generalization of what's going on in these different bodies of water. So, small trout, a few bluefish, and still a puppy drum or two. I'm not hearing much in the way of big drum. I think they've all gone to the ocean, and I think that's going to be over with for now back in the Sound. So that is what's happening. They're still catching shrimp, but it's gotten a little bit more spotty. Some of the shrimpers are out in the ocean. Some are still in the Pamlico Sound. It's a great time of year to get you some of these green tails, freeze them up, and put them in your freezer. You can get them at a great price right now, and they'll last you all through the winter. Be just right for Thanksgiving. But you need to go to one of your local fish houses like Insane Seafood with Luke and Trudy Midget. They do a great job. They sponsored me for a while. You can also go run down to Wanchese and see if Micah has any at Fresh Cut Seafood. Wherever you go, shop with your local fish houses. Be aware that most of the time when you buy supposedly fresh shrimp in a big market store, they may be thawed out, but they're really probably shipped, frozen, thawed in the store, and they're 99% of the time, those are not local shrimp. So support the local shrimp, and when you do that, you support the local fishermen who shop in the stores and eat in restaurants, and keep the money locally if you can. So that is what's going on the report for today. We're heading into the weekend. We'll talk to you about some Thanksgiving stuff as we get closer to the weekend. I hope you have a great day, and God bless.